the next thing I'm going to show you is things that your clients can access over the web if you enable it for them. Now this I'm going to demonstrate through the hosted system, which I've already made my connections to it and minimized it. I'm going to show you the account first in the operator program. I'm going to bring up, let me look at my notes here. What did I set up? Demo 100. Okay. Demo 100 has an undelivered message from yesterday, from last night. There's a locate that they forwarded to the office last night. There's an if message in here, if Mrs. Smith calls. There are any delivered if messages? No delivered if message, but there are delivered messages. Some of them are flagged for redelivery and some are not. Okay, so that's the account, Demo 100. All right. Now, in the admin program, let me jump to the admin program to show where you would set up your client to have access to their account. In Demo 100, there's a new tab over here called Web Access. And I did set myself up in this account already. I gave myself a username of JSWeb, and I set up an email address and a password for that user to have access to this account, Demo 100. And I enabled that person to be able to do all of these things. So far what we've enabled is made available over the web are messages, locates, and if messages. We are still working on the on-call form to make that available. So you can give your clients the ability to just look at messages, to just look at if messages, or to actually look at new messages and delivered messages. Also the ability to deliver off messages, the ability to take a new if message, and the ability to do locates. Now I don't see a special locate, so I have a feeling that this display locates means they can actually save them. I expected to see a display and a save locates, but I know that they are able to save. So I'm going to check with Elias on that. So that's where you set up the access, username, address, password, and what you want them to be able to do. So I'm going to go back to my local desktop and go to the so the URL that you give to your customers will change, will be changing. It won't be this long, @homealert.tascominc.net. But anyway, for now that's what it is. And so the email address that I set up for myself was joanne@demo.com. And I just made my password JS. Okay. So the client ID that I can see is just Demo 100. If you have a client who has multiple accounts, maybe they're joint user accounts for branching purposes, or they've got different client IDs set up, you can let that user have access to multiple accounts. And this, I've enabled myself to see messages, locates, and if messages. So what it comes up first is with the undelivered or new messages. And there's that message when it came in. And delivered line is empty for the office. Because I've enabled myself to be able to deliver off the messages, I can hit this deliver and click OK. All right, now the new messages is empty. Let's see if I go over to delivered. I'm not actually sure if that one is, if we look at delivered, there it is. And so it shows that it was delivered by JS Web. That's that username. Because the username needs to be short because it needs to fit in this delivered by field. Just like your operator IDs are limited in number of characters. And it will always get filled in with these words web delivered. And here are other delivered messages. And the ones that were flagged for redelivery, they appear in green when you're looking at them on the index, that teal. They're displaying with a background of green here on the web. So those are the delivered messages. Now, what appears, sorry about this clicking. What appears, the information that, how the form looks to the customer is we are using the properties, the email properties that you set when you design the form. So whatever the client, however the client would see their messages, if they were being emailed to them, that's what they're going to see over the web. That's for their messages. Now, if I wanted to take a new, no, we're not taking new messages. We're not taking new messages. You can only look at them and deliver them. Okay, now if messages, let's look at if messages. If messages, we are showing the index of if messages. And here are the new ones. And what we see down here when we're looking at the new if message is we're showing everything from the form. We're not just showing the items that are set to be emailed, we're showing the whole form. The idea is some services use if messages for temporary sign-out information, maybe who's on call. Rather than using, for some accounts, they might use the if message instead of the time-sensitive on-call form or the locate. So we did make it available for the client to fill out a new if message. And let's just try that. Okay, so I say if Wayne Skaggs calls. Okay. And hold until later. And from Joanne. Okay. And then I do a save. Okay. So there it shows that this is the operator, that JS Web, that user ID, who saved that. Now, if I go look, so here it is on the index. I'm going to minimize this and jump back to my remote session on the hosted system and refresh that if. There it is. Okay. So now let's go back to that web session. All right, so if messages, and then locates, if I hit the locate key, locate the office forwarded last night. We're showing how many characters they can type in the locate. And if I hit a new locate and type out to lunch, and save it. Okay. Locate saved. Okay. All right. And we go look at the account. Clear screen, go out of the account and let it refresh. There it is, Out to Lunch by JS Webb. So this is available on the hosted system now on version 4. And so I'm going to log out. Oh, well, I guess you can also look at previous locates. Just do that. There they are. Pretty straightforward.